Huge thanks to these stores and teams for sponsoring my trip to ARG Nationals. It's an amazing experience. These guys have really helped me out. Go ahead and show them some love, guys. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, these guys have really put in a lot of work, and I'm really grateful for it. So thanks a lot to them. Go check them out. And now let's get to the content. Hey there guys, GMO73 here, bringing you a feature match for the week. I am playing the new version-ish, an updated version of the ever popular green Grimm control against my buddy Ryan, who is playing a Alice the Saint of Healing 6 Sages list. Very, very cool version of the list. I hadn't seen Sages in a while, so I thought it'd be fun to get the recording in. For those of you who are wondering, that is a Grimm that I'm using on my side. That is actually the Epunk Dark Grimm custom special promo, and it is in one of the Force of Will side loaders that makes it look stamped, so that's what's going on there. So I open up with a pretty common green Grimm turn 1 of Elvish Priest. Moves over to Ryan, who plays a couple of Artemis bows. Give him some defense. And then actually decides to skip his first stone in order to be able to get a deep blue, which is a very interesting idea. He knows he's going to be going down to being pretty behind in terms of stone count, but it's a very interesting play. So I just call for a stone and pass. And then during his upkeep, I actually used Law of Silence. So again, I want him to have that stone, but be even further behind. Maximize the fact that he had to skip that first turn. So I used the Grimm effect during the upkeep to pitch that Glinda in order to grab a Rapunzel. So this version of the green Grimm deck actually has several different ways to finish the game off. It's got Rapunzels, Etnas, and then the ever popular Pied Piper. It's different play lines. So I play that Gretel, hit a green white stone. And I go ahead and play, now that I have that light, I play the Rapunzel. So now the Rapunzel is out and ready to go, so I can start making plays with that. So Ryan is gonna just draw for turn, tap for a stone, and then pass. So now I have Rapunzel being 800 attack. Call for a stone. So I'm in a pretty good position here. The one thing that I forget though is the fact that, so this is a very interesting play by Ryan. So what he does is he uses Deep Blue to call for a Alice's Little Soldier, or Little Assault Force. Summon it out of the field in response to the attack. And he only has to use one of the bows and banish Little Assault Force to actually burn Rapunzel to death. Because of the fact that she only gets the pump from attack, not defense. So really a good play right there to get my Rapunzel out of the way. Use the Grimm pitch effect to search for the one of Athos. So the deck runs things like Witch's Dagger to help draw into its answers. It runs actually a Rat Catcher's Pipe, which is a way to make Pied Piper a finisher, even more of a finisher. I use Athos to grab a Witch's Dagger, and then I immediately recognized that I had tapped my stones wrong. I could have tapped Elvish Priest and left one of the blue-greens up on my side of the field to be able to get that Witch's Dagger immediately into play. But I didn't do that, so I also could have attacked with Gretel, although it's only 200 damage. This game, 200 damage can be life or death, so probably should have done that. So Ryan's going up to 3 stones. He plays a Uriel. So what Uriel does is essentially it's a mini Pied Piper. So it just locks down 1 resonator as long as it's on the field. So I was debating whether or not to use this the search, but I actually decided that the stuff that I have in my hand is pretty solid and I'm okay with keeping it. So play 3 for Tale of Fairy Tale. Now I'm going to pull out that Hamlin's Pied Piper, especially now that he's got a creature that I could lock down with it. Put a Witch's Dagger on my Gretel. Play a second Gretel. Explaining to him what Witch's Dagger does because it's been a while since we've seen cards like that. So reveal the stone. It's a basic green stone. So now I feel pretty good. I have 2 wills still up. I'm pretty high up on will. I've got draw power. I've got a couple of Gretels. I've got the Piper to start doing stuff, and I know that in my hand I have Ratcatcher's Pipe. So I'm actually thinking about just going for game this next turn. But he does play a Mood Start, which causes some problems in the fact that he'll be able to tap down some of my stuff and make some things go not my way. So during the upkeep, thinking about doing the pitch. Decide not to. So I call for a stone. Because it's Grimm, so you pretty much have to. So deciding whether or not I want to play something. So moving into combat, I declare moving into combat, and in response to that, he uses Mood Start to tap it down. So then I move out of combat, and I put Ratcatcher's Pipe onto Piper. Then I pay a blue to untap Piper. So I say that I'm moving back into combat. He uses the other Mood Start to tap it down, and then I'll just Ratcatcher's Pipe to recover him again. Because again, if it's Hamlin, you only have to pay 1, and you can just keep recovering Hamlin's Pied Piper if you have Ratcatcher's Pipe. So I finally do manage to lock down the Mood Start, and I get that attack in for 1,000 damage. And I'll have to look at that, but I think I just drew too many cards. I don't know. Somewhere in there I think I drew too many cards. I don't know, you'll have to catch it if I'm wrong, but I go ahead and cast Law of Silence on Ryan's upkeep, so he has to just sit for a turn Sitting on a lot of absolute cake zones, which isn't really helpful against a deck like Sage's, because most of the stuff that he has is spells, or is summons, and quick cast resonators and stuff like that, and I don't have Zeeks. So I move into combat, I attempt to re-lock down the Uriel. In response, he flashes in a Feasting, which will prevent all the damage from Piper for the turn. I go ahead and try and recover him. And actually, I try to recover him. I know he's not going to be able to do the damage, but I try and lock down. I'm trying to lock down the Feasting. So then I play, but he uses Moonshard's counter to tap down Piper. So then what I do is I actually play Realm of Pure Spirits, so he can't do that anymore. He can't lock me until I've actually declared the attack, which at that point it doesn't really matter because I'm already tapped. And then I swing in for 0 damage, but to lock down the Feasting. So what he does in response to that, in response to me locking down the Feasting and stuff like that, this is actually pretty good play by Ryan, and this is me getting greedy. He does the exact same thing that he did to my Rapunzel. He just has to use both of his bows. And he's actually going to kill that Pied Piper and unlock all of his stuff. Thankfully for me, I have a lot of open will. And so I play Etna and from my hand and just immediately lock all 3 of them back down. So I know that it doesn't really matter because they'll still get their counters and stuff, but I just don't want to be taking any kind of damage through this match. So you know, I want to be able to get to a point where it's just everything's over and permanently locked down. Moving into Ryan's turn. So he's got a handful of Sages and isn't quite sure which ones he wants to play. He's got some Feastings, a couple more Mood Shards, both types of Feastings in my lists. Honestly, if I was in the position of Ryan at this point, I would just try to start slamming down the my lists. Yeah, slamming down my lists and being able to try to just very quickly slamming down my lists so that he could quickly get enough counters on them later by slamming down Sages later in order to burn me to death. Because my list can burn players, so technically you only need 14 counters total to finish off a player from 4,000. And with a handful of Sages that he has, if he plays that second my list, he's immediately at least 3 counters. Every Sage after that gets him 2 counters, so he can very quickly get to full lethal with my list, and it's uncounterable in the sense that Green Grimm doesn't really run things like Glimpse of Kakia and stuff like that. It's just gonna happen. And I'm clearly not attacking, so he's got that advantage too. I'm not attacking his resonators, it's the clear advantage. So I'm thinking about so in response to the summon of Pied Piper, he flashes in Feasting the Elvish Oracle, and then pays 1 to make me have to pay 1 more for Piper to come through. And then I decided to use Hamlin's Pied Piper's effect to lock down Elvish Oracle. Because Elvish Oracle has that 1000 defense, and so it's a little bit bigger of a threat in my mind. Tap Elvish Priest for an Elvish Priest, so I'm sitting on just a lot of open will at this point, and 3 Cake Zones, which doesn't really help me much against a Sage deck. I would love a Zeeks. Zeeks would be great at this point, but it's no such luck. Again, it's my thought at this point that Ryan's goal should just be to switch to a burn tactic with my list and just burn me to death. With the number of sages in his hand, let's see, he's got at least 3 other sages. I thought he had on my list a little assault force. Oh, he's got a Alice the Guardian of Dimensions as well. So use the Grimm pitch effect to get rid of the Glinda. To grab a Cheshire Cat. At this point, what I'm hoping for is I'm actually trying to draw into a Zeeks. Because if I can draw into a Zeeks, then I can make some pretty great plays happen. Because I can make something untargetable after even after I try and do any of that other stuff. And I'm also looking for that card that I just drew to be able to recycle all of my options. The Horn of the Phantom Beast. I want that Rapunzel, I want all that other stuff. I want it back in my deck so that I can possibly make use of it. And so I actually just immediately banish my Horn and shuffle my entire graveyard back into my deck. Because the one thing that I have going for me is, now that I've got Realm of Pure Spirits, if I can get Rapunzel out and with a Zeeks, that's the finisher that I'm kind of looking for at this point. Because I know that Ryan's got a lot of different tricks with kind of burn and stuff like that, but I know that he doesn't have anything that has flying. And if I just keep leaving up this kind of wall of resonators that he can't touch because of Realm of Pure Spirits, that I can search for Rapunzel and just make a lot of really damaging plays happen. So I attempt to swing at the Moonstart. I don't know why, because I don't want him tapping down stuff. I should have just swung at his face. It would have made more sense. He plays Alice Castling to try to save the Moonstart, and I use a Cake Zone to stop the castling. In response to that, he casts a Feasting. And draws. What he could have done is I'm going to lock down the My List. And what he could have done there is actually, and I think he actually does, he prevents the damage from Piper against his Moonstart. So he saves the Moonstart that way and gets more counters up. Then he uses Alice's little Assault Force and a My List to burn off. And a My List counter to burn off my Pied Piper. So what I just do is I just play a Cheshire Cat to draw 2, hoping to draw into a Zeeks, because I know that if I can draw into a Zeeks, then I have game. And I'm really bad at that today. This was me being really loose at locals. I completely forgot to put a card back on top for Cheshire Cat. So don't mind me playing super loose casually with Ryan at locals. So pro tip, don't do what I did. You do have to put a card back on top for Cheshire Cat. Do I catch it? No? Okay, well, that's what I mean, this wasn't in a tournament or anything else, it was just a casual match. So that's completely my bad. I feel like I did that last time I played Grimm too, which is kind of disappointing. I'm kind of disappointed in myself about that. Ryan at the end of the turn uses his little assault. Uses his deep blue to grab a little scout. Then goes into his next turn. He gets that Feasting Elvish Oracle back up, and he gets his My List back up. Plays his second My List, so like, here's the thing, is he used all of his My List counters already, so now he's got to do a lot of work to get all those counters back. Essentially, he needs to summon 6 more sages. If he can summon 6 more sages before I can get to Rapunzel Zeke's, he'll win. Because he could just burn me to death with the My Lists. It won't even matter what my board state is, because he can just do 300 damage to player for each counter, you know. Type 7, that's 4,200. Or it's 2,100 for each My List. So he's going to use his Moodstar counters to draw cards. Hopefully draw into some sages. I had that Law of Silence in my hand, pretty sure, and the reason why I'm not doing anything with it is because I'm saving it for the turn where I can finish things off. Because I plan on playing it during my turn to make sure that Rapunzel or the Zeke's is going to go through. So discard Gretel because I really don't need, I can't tap for stone anymore. I've got all 10 of them out. To grab Rapunzel. So I'm setting up that finishing play. Don't really have any draw power left because of my Cheshire Cats are all just sitting on the field. I know it seems like this is being, like we're both kind of being a little slow about this, but the fact is, I know for a fact that he has a lot of different options to be able to burn my stuff after I've tapped to attack, and it's better for me to just commit to going for the full OTK with Rapunzel than it is for me to try to chip him down at this point. So I draw 3 off a Witch's Dagger. Sack the Elvish Priest as well with another Witch's Dagger. I'm just trying to get to Zeke's at this point, like 100%. Because I know that if I can get Zeke's, then I have game. So there's the Rapunzel come out. You see 2 Law of Silence, 2 Cake Zones, no Zeke's. Plays an Elvish Oracle in response to my Rapunzel. Gets a bunch of counters everywhere. 5 sages to go. He knows that I've got plenty of will, so he's not going to waste his feasting counters on it, because it really doesn't matter at this point. I've got so much open will left that I could easily still make sure that Rapunzel is going to resolve. I play a Gretel just so that I have more creatures to mess with Rapunzel. And at that point, I pass. I think I pass. Yeah, I pass at that. And then I do actually end up going ahead and Law of Silencing him. Because in my eyes, again, I'm just looking for that Zeeks. And as soon as I hit that Zeeks, I have the game. So he uses the Deep Blue effect because it is an activated ability during the upkeep, so he can do that to play for his own Alice's Little Scout. And then passes to me, I believe. Oh, no, he decides to do Judgment. So now he's got that Alice's Saint of Healing out on the field. So I finally drew into that Zeeks. So I attempt to cast Law of Silence on him, which he lets resolve. Or he's thinking about something to do in response to it. No, I think he flashes in a mood. Oh, he flashes in an Almerius in response. Just to get more counters and stuff. And I play the Zeeks on the Rapunzel, which will make her untargetable. So all of his stuff that he can do to Rapunzel while she's attacking is completely null and void. So she would essentially just be able to keep swinging in the air several times to make things pretty dramatic. And so he knows at that point that it's over because I can just tap Rapunzel to pump herself and then use all my other resonators to untap her and just keep swinging in the air for 800. I only have to get 4 attacks in and I can finish the game. So moving into game 2. Hopefully this time I won't be stupid and draw extra cards. Get myself a GE4 warning. And I'm hoping to just finish this game a little bit faster, because now I'm going to play a little bit smarter in terms of I know that he's got all these different combat tricks. So I know to just try to get a little bit more either aggressive or smart in terms of my play lines to make sure that I get that finisher faster. I don't just want to be sitting on a bunch of dead resonators. I've got Elvish Priest, I've got that Etna, I've got Realm of Pure Spirits in my opening hand. Hits that first turn stone, plays out the Deep Blue turn 1, plays Alice Little Scout. Passes to me. Get a green stone, see I have that Law of Silence, play my Elvish Priest, pass. Pays 200 to be able to play my list. Gets that my list out there. Debating whether or not I want to pitch something from the discard effect. Decide not to. Hit that light stone, which is what I wanted to see. Cast Tell a Fairy Tale. So I can just have Hamlin out on turn 2. Start making plays. I'm going to go ahead and lock down the my list. Pass the turn. Pays for Medusa. And passes the turn to me. Honestly, I have that Etna in my hand, so what I could have done, I choose to do the ramp, but what I could have done is paid for Etna, and then locked down the Alice Little Guardian, and then swung in with Piper to lock down the Medusa and get a free grand of damage in. Didn't really think about that. So I attempt to swing in, I do lock down the Medusa with Piper. He blocks with the Alice Little Guardian. The other thing that I could have done was pitch during the upkeep, or pitch to just play Glinda, and then make a play happen from there, because he'd be unblockable. Go ahead and use Law of Silence with my other 2 stones during Ryan's upkeep to prevent it from being able to play any cards. And he's got 2 locked Resonators on the field, so I'm not really worried. Tap for a stone. So go ahead and get that Realm of Pure Spirits out into play. So I'm going to start making my moves. I've got the Zeeks as well. So like I already know that I'm very close to pulling off my finisher. I've got the Realm of Pure Spirits, I've got the Zeeks, I just need the Rapunzel, and I can do the exact same thing to what I did to him last game. Actually, I decided to play the Rapunzel, and the thing is, Ryan actually right there could have stopped my whole play, but he decided not to. He could have cast Feasting the Elvish Oracle, quick cast, and then used the counter to prevent my Rapunzel from hitting the field, and I would have had no open will to stop it. I would have just immediately lost that Rapunzel and had been sitting there with nothing to show for it. And my big combo piece just gone. But because he let that resolve, decided to go for a little scout instead, I'm in a much better position. And in fact, I know I'm going to be able to get game next turn. So passes to me after using his deep blue to call in a little red. Plays the bow. Plays 1 for a little Assault Force, using deep blue to filter it for red. During my upkeep, use Rapunzel's effect to pump herself up, tap Cheshire Cat to untap her. Rapunzel's effect to pump herself up, use Gretel to untap her. Rapunzel's effect to pump herself up, and then Hamlin to untap her, so she's now at 1200. Flyer for the turn. Tap for a stone. And Zeeks. And at that point, Ryan doesn't have a response for the Zeeks, so he knows that it's over, because I can just keep attacking with a 1200 point Rapunzel and finish the game off. So there you have it, guys. Let me know what you thought of the decks, despite my drawing extra cards, silly misplays. Deck profiles will be up this Saturday, so like, comment, and subscribe as always. Let us know what you thought of the matchups, deck matches for Twilight Wanderer rulers and stuff will be up starting next week. So until then, this is DMO73 as always, signing off.